Hey everyone, it's Wingspan TT, the fourth best commentator on YouTube and the CEO of Wingspan Delivery Services. And today, just going to spend a little bit of time with some people in Wingspan Delivery Services because we got a chance to meet up at Eve Vegas, which is really awesome. I thought it might be cool to take some time, do a little break from the video stuff, and just talk to people, which I know is friggin' crazy because I normally just like to talk to myself. But here I got with me today some happy crew members. I got Saria Demov, Tally Larry. Oh, I'm butchering your last name, bro. Both of her, and Cadno with some Irish name I can't pronounce.
Llewellyn.
Yeah. There you go. So how are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good.
Recovering from hangovers.
Yeah, you seem to have a worse job at that than me.
Well, I feel like some people definitely took it really hard, like really hard.
I had a great time, actually.
Well, 7
Yeah,
or
we
8
all know
drinks
that.
in, and
I feel like
It
as
was
long
good
as you
times.
stop somewhere before like 15 drinks, the previous night, then you could survive the next day. So, all right, so how many of you guys have been to Eve Vegas before?
none
I
of
don't
us, I think.
I don't
I
think
don't
any
think
of
any of
us.
us.
Zero.
We're
Wow.
all Eve Vegas virgins.
I haven't
Yep,
been playing
the battery's
Eve long
popped.
enough to have been to Eve Vegas before.
We know.
It shows, Chance. Just a
Yeah. What about normal Vegas? You guys been to Vegas before?
Yes. Like
Good
4
times, man.
times.
It's kind of like Times Square in every direction, except with way
I-
more smoking.
I want to know what Chance's opinion was mostly because he was it was his first time there, correct?
At Vegas?
Yeah, just totally.
Yeah, it's just like it's very over the top. It's like I said, it's like Times Square everywhere, I guess. There's aside from that, I mean it's warm. I don't know what to say. It's really annoying that you can't just fucking cross the street. You got to take an escalator to cross the street. Like even in friggin' New York City, you can just cross the goddamn street. So I thought that was a little strange.
Well, you saw Hello Kitty, and that was something else.
I saw Hello Kitty. I saw Olaf. Actually, this guy at my work went to Vegas the same week. He was there for a different convention. And he was like, "Did you see that guy dressed as Olaf in the street? He just looked dirty as hell. Like he's just like." Yeah, I felt bad for dirty Olaf. And just for the record, all right, so I stayed with Tally as a roommate, and I also had Susie R.C. Mudstone as a 2-day roommate, and he was a fun guy. Met him before in Jersey.
Did you actually see him when he was alive, Chance?
When he was
I saw
alive?
him, he was like comatose.
He's pretty much.
Yeah,
I think he said the sentence "I'm dying" about 30 times over the weekend.
Yeah, I think when he came back to my room, he slept for like 12 hours straight from Sunday to
went-
Monday
He
morning.
Yeah,
went
he was in
pretty
pretty bad
fucking
shape.
hard.
He went really hard. He was just partying with the Matani all night.
You know, he didn't even remember he had breakfast with us.
No, he
Oh,
didn't.
really?
Right.
He was definitely primarily conscious during that.
He was, I know, and, he said he felt like he went down there that morning, but I had to tell him, you were there. You told him you didn't want anything.
Yeah, I
You're
was
good."
there. Eve is real. Yeah, I was there.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he came down with 2 Gatorades.
He came down with 2
I'm right.
Gatorades. He sat at the table looking like he was dying, and then he went to bed. All right. But I think he had a good time overall.
Oh yeah.
It was
Yeah.
good. We spent a little bit of time in recovery mode, but at least we made it up for the most part for the presentations at 11. I think they've got that planned. 'Cause
Right.
I know most
No
folks
9
go to
o'clock
bed at,
presentations.
till like 2 or 3.
Right.
Right. I thought that was funny. It was like
Oh.
11 o'clock first thing.
Yeah, most conferences are like, we're gonna start stuff at like 8. Oh, fuck that at Eve Vegas. You know?
They know. how
All
it
of the
goes.
devs wouldn't be up by 8.
No, there's no way.
In hell.
There's no way.
You
And they
imagine
can drink like a
Falcon
fish,
crawling
too.
his ass like
Oh,
out of...
dude.
Oh man.
Garden Falcon can drink.
Oh yeah,
Oh
man.
my God.
If you're in Iceland, like what
Guard.
else is there to do?
Darkness and drinking.
Right.
They're
Code
heavyweights,
Code
man.
Eve, drink stuff, eat salted fish.
Ugh.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
pay an arm and a leg for everything.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Including shitty sandwiches.
Yes, the worst sandwiches. I know I said this to you guys, right? But the 4 worst sandwiches I had in my life were all in Iceland. Like almost back to back.
Yeah, but it's all about where you go though. Like prime rib on the strip was like fairly expensive in most parts, but you go one block away and it's like $5, $6, and they're pretty
Yeah.
decent. You just
Actually,
Well,
gotta.
I mean,
That was a
that's
great
everything
dinner.
on the strip. Everything on the strip's expensive.
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah, you can't eat for like less than $20, but the food was good. I didn't think it was like blow you away good, you know, but it was good.
I don't know. I
No.
was thinking that buffet. Was that blow you away good?
No,
Oh man, that was delicious.
It was
good.
really
I'm a
good.
snob though. But see, I was talking to the guy at my work, and he's like, everyone's telling me these buffets are amazing, and I'm just like, whatever.
I think the champagne made it taste better, Chance.
Hey,
that really added to it.
Hey, there you
Hype.
go.
Was that the Bellagio?
Yeah, the Bellagio
Yeah.
buffet.
Well, I think the Rio's better, but I say that every time.
Well, next year we can go to the Rio.
Next- Yeah, next
year-
time, there you
next year's
go.
The Rio.
Yeah, next time Tally doesn't pick the most expensive place ever.
Hey, I didn't pick the Bellagio. Somebody else did. Somebody else kept saying they wanted it.
Someone who's unmentionable that doesn't exist, Tally.
Whatever.
All right, guys. So just breaking for a second from the general stuff. Why don't you guys tell me a little bit about some of the people you met at Vegas? So obviously from the Wingspan side, we had all of us. We had Togi and June. We had Cormorant. We had Geeky. We had oh my God, I don't know. We had Reed and wait, Albert. There you go. I think that's everyone.
Yeah, I
And,
think that
and
was
CCP
everyone. There was,
Siegel,
what,
who's now
10 of
an
us?
honorary
11
member
of
of
us?
Wingspan.
12 in total. It's pretty good for a first year.
For like a 1-year-old corp, I think that's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
12 out of 800 tickets is pretty nuts.
Well, who else did you guys? I mean, we went to that wormhole party. We met Longinus Spear and a bunch of. I didn't actually know that was Longinus Spear until the next day.
I had
I
never
did-
heard of Desolate Order until we went to that party.
I never even realized that his blog was the one that I read. It was just some wormhole blog I check up on.
Right, like, geez, this guy knows everything about wormholes. And like, oh, that's right, because it's this guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there
The
was-
most important
there
part
was
he
also
knows
that-
that we fly good strats here.
Yeah, his shout out during the presentation. I'm like,
Well,
wow,
we-
someone thinks that we have some level of competence. I'll take that.
We also met his royal popeness.
Yes, we met Max Singularity. I was gonna ask him to bless my daughter, but you know,
I wonder how often people walk up to him, in the street,
what in a normal street, not
No,
Vegas street.
no. When he's in his outfit, just walking around the hotel,
I think
just
he's a
ask
bishop.
forgiveness.
Oh, like they think he's an actual cardinal
yeah.
or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's interesting.
Met
I got a
some of
picture
the
with him and the Matani kissing his ring
nice.
that we'll have to share later on.
I did get to talk to the Matani. That was interesting.
If you guys hadn't met Zenuria before, he's an interesting individual.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize it was him. I walked up to him and I'm like, "You look so familiar, dude. Like, I don't know. I must know who you are. You look so familiar." He's like, "I'm Zenuria." I'm like, "Oh, I'm Chance. Nice to meet you." And he just kind of like walked away without saying anything. But then later at the chateau party, he was cool. Then we talked like a little
Yeah.
bit more when he was hanging out with the rest of his people.
The Matani's on the move though, it's funny seeing him like work a room. He's like
He
just goes
works
talk
the
to
room,
everyone
man.
For
He's-
like 2 minutes. It's like he's got it down to an art, man. He's just on a mission.
He can't get
cream that
nailed
place.
down because otherwise he's gonna get stuck talking to some low life in the corner for like 3 hours.
Yeah,
Like I noticed when I was talking to him, he just held my hand the entire time and didn't break eye contact for like 4 minutes straight. And then as soon as we were done talking, he's just like, "Peace," and he's just gone. He just disappeared. He might as well have cloaked.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I thought he was trying to read your mind.
Yeah, I think he was.
Maybe he does.
Or he already has Scion doing that for him. But
So, Chance, does the Matani have an opinion on Wingspan that we want to know about?
he knew who we were. Like, Scion was introducing me, like, "Hey, this is the Matani," and da-da-da. And then he's like, I'm Chance, I'm Wingspan. He's like, "Oh, yeah, I know Wingspan. You guys do good work, da-da-da-da-da." And then he just asked me, like, do you party? Do you smoke weed? And and he kind of like leaned in a little, and I just said yes, like that. And then he just looked at me. He's like, No, you don't." Like, it was just completely transparent that I was just, But
Yeah,
he's a charismatic guy,
I even had to light your cigar for you, Chance.
Well, I don't have any practice. All right, go through one of those like a year, like max. Like someone has a wedding or a baby at a wedding or whatever.
You've got your cigar with the baby.
Right, exactly. Who else did we meet? We met like a lot of people. We met friggin' the Bentuzzi guy from our failed operation from a year ago.
Oh, we met the guys from what's that wormhole? Maythorn?
Yeah, we met the Maythorn guys. They were mildly salty.
Yeah,
Much
they're-
butthurt.
I don't understand. I thought, come on.
Yeah, I didn't get it either. They were really salty about everyone and their fits and everything.
Right. We met Sad Panda and some other streamers.
More salt and butthurt.
Shout
Yes.
out to White.
She wouldn't even
Knight
take your
Social
card,
Club.
Chance.
Oh no, she
Yeah.
eventually took my card.
Yeah, that was the only one she said because like,
She
I
wouldn't
tried to
use-
get her.
He kept
I
saying,
kept trying to
"Fuck
get her to take
Wingspan."
mine. Yeah.
Right, and just for the record for the stream, so we made Wingspan business cards to give to everyone who's going representing Corp there to hand out to people and ask them to leave their Corp and join Wingspan, which I think went over pretty well. I don't know if we got a lot of applications necessarily, but
Yes,
There's a
we
few
are.
actually. Yeah.
Oh, really? I should probably help work through those.
Well, the problem is we're getting a lot of applications directly to Wingspan, and that's not what we're looking for.
yeah, well, you know what? I made those cards before we set up our new recruiting setup, so
True.
Yeah.
It's okay. We've been redirecting people fairly well, but it's been a little rough.
It was weird. Like I was giving everyone my card, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a director of the academy or whatever," and they were like, "But this is recruiter," and I'm like, I don't want to talk about it, okay? Rough time, but it was fun.
Yeah. Did you guys meet anyone else cool? I met some of the CSM people in real life because I didn't get to go to the summit, so I got to meet them. Scion's cool. Most other people are pretty busy.
Oh, I met the dude who does coffee at my company there,
Oh yeah, that
who
was a
also
little weird.
apparently plays Eve.
Yeah,
like,
he
massively
messaged me on
tall.
Reddit. He's like, "Oh, I think one of your people, I like deliver coffee to him at his office." I'm like, "Can
And
you
I'm
like
like,
swap his coffee to decaf for me or something?"
Right on. So,
Oh, man.
yeah, that was interesting.
Did anyone strike
got
you
to
as like
play-
they were totally different than what you expected them to be like in real life?
I expected some of the CCP guys to not be like 5 foot minus.
Oh yeah, like
like,
I mean,
they're all
they're
either
pretty
like
knows
really
that guards
tall
on the
or
short
like
side.
really short.
Everyone who works at CCP is either 6 feet tall or 5 feet tall. Like no one is in between. Like that's
it's really
it.
weird. Like they're
Yeah.
all.
Porphy wasn't that short, I don't think. But yeah,
Deagle's
Dev,
pretty
we
tall.
went on the pub crawl.
Well, it's like when you're really north, like you're that far north, and the planet gravity affects you strangely. I don't know. Yeah, but they're all really nice people, all CC people.
I always forget how many goons there are. When like
There's-
they bought 200 of the 800 tickets, like
Yeah.
holy hell, there's
Is-
a lot of them. It's
But when
like
you
the goon
consider
ball,
there's,
like-
I mean, how many people are in Goonswarm? Like 20, 30,000?
yeah, and I mean, I don't know how many people from the actual Goon Swarm Corp went. I mean, other than like the Matani and the CSM member,
Right.
but like a lot of it they're just coalition members and they just represent themselves as goons.
Exactly. Yeah, and apparently they had all kinds of crazy parties.
And apparently one almost got kiboshed, supposedly. There may have been some police involvement, who knows?
Right.
Let that remain anonymous.
All right. So what were some of the stuff that was like announced at eVegas that you guys were interested in or that surprised you? Because I know beforehand I was kind of like, listen, the Capitol thing is going to be crazy. Like, don't don't just expect that it's going to be like, oh, okay.
It's really awesome. They're completely changing the dynamic, and it's not like a little tweak or whatever, like, oh, screw that, it's all new, And so
Yeah.
no one's really sure, like, good, bad, whatever. They're all just like, sweet, awesome, let's see how it goes, There's
I
not
think
much-
it's
I
going to be
think
a lot
everyone's
more
pretty happy.
interesting once the actual stats come out. I was initially disappointed and then excited and then disappointed and then kind of at the end.
Yeah, I think
I don't
some
know.
people, reading through Reddit and stuff, I guess some people are concerned that supers aren't going to be special enough. Like supers won't be different enough from carriers.
Right.
They're at the design phase, I mean, I'm gonna punch the next person who asks like what the exact DPS numbers of the Titan is. You know, like that doesn't make any difference.
It doesn't
right now.
matter at this point. Like at this point,
Right.
it doesn't matter. Like when it's February and they're getting closer to it, then then it'll matter.
They're doing a lot of good stuff, like changing just the content of the game, and it's really great what they're doing regardless of how it turns out.
Yeah, I unfortunately didn't get to go to the PvE roundtable, although, and this is with the disclaimer of being on the CSM, I know like 90% of the stuff that's already going to be announced. But a lot of that stuff I think is really interesting with the convoys of NPCs, with the potential for capital NPCs and things like that. It's just, just really shake up PvE a lot more.
It'll be good. You know, honestly, the PvE content's been like, go here, do this fixed mission, go back home, do whatever. You know, even the PvE content, well, it's not a huge focus for us. It really needs to feel alive and like something that you need to focus on to compete and combat, and giving some real life to it is going to help a lot.
It's stuff you can kind of like just pick up here and there instead of like signing up for these missions, because I guess we talked a little bit about this at the show, but just the idea of like, oh, if there are roaming fleets of NPCs and you're in a Stratios, you might be like, oh, okay, well, let me just fight these things, and they're going to warp away to some wormhole or something, and you're like, wait, where the hell did it go? And you follow them, and then, it might just, kind of bring you to go explore something.
Yeah,
They're talking about them going to holes. It's going to mean we might have to be aware of that all the time.
Deal with them?
You might have NPCs show up on us and decloak our whole fleet.
No!
Yeah.
We're going to have to get
Yeah,
good
we're
at
gonna
the
have to say
game.
something like that.
It's gonna be it's really interesting because when you have such static PvE content as there is right now with like incursions, missions, DED sites, things like that, you get websites like Eve Survival and like things like that, these resources that just make PvE content really stale. And
Right,
really,
they tell
like,
you what to tank against, what
mind-numbing.
wave, what triggers, exactly how many enemies there are.
Right, and so like what they're doing with this is just creating a really dynamic PvE environment, which is great. It helps get high sec people,
Up and moving.
like mission runners, things like that. It gives them something to do that's interesting and interactive.
They might have to talk to other people too, heaven forbid.
Oh,
Actually,
God.
like,
Yeah.
fleet and Jesus.
Mission
Right, like if
corporations will
you're
actually have
if you're
to
getting
flex
tackled or something, and now there's like 8 capital NPCs attacking you or something.
Right, and on top of that, it's going to cause mission runners to start training a lot more of their PvP skills, a lot more of their, catch things and learn to fight, essentially, like just against NPCs, though.
Sure.
Especially if that mission critical NPC is able to warp off field.
Yeah.
You
Right.
want to have a disruptor for that.
What was there a stat somewhere that was like only 12% of EVE characters are engaged in PvP?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I think we
Well,
missed it
yeah.
for the presentation, the data presentation, but that was, I read that somewhere that was one of the things shown on the screen.
Yeah, which is crazy because a lot of the PvP stuff gets glorified, but honestly, one of the most important aspects of Eve is the economy, the ability to create almost all the items, and they're moving more and more stuff out of being NPC created, like skill books and skill points being able to be traded,
And
all that
stations,
stuff,
going to
and
citadels
stations, and-
eventually, right?
Yeah, I mean, for the long-term health of the game, the more stuff that they can put onto player production rather than NPC production and cut that out, I think it's healthy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, what do you guys think about all the Citadel stuff?
Crazy that you can dock super capitals. I was not expecting that. It's good.
Oh,
I feel like because
I
you
thought
have
that
to,
was like known.
I wasn't aware of it. At least I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool because I'd always heard people complain about like always having to have an account character dedicated to that, and when they need a capital pilot, a super cap, they resub them or whatever, and it just isn't conducive to actually playing the game.
Sure. Yeah, no, it's big. Actually, again, like, even though I knew a lot of this stuff, I was surprised to see them having stuff ready to show like rotating the citadels or placing it in space. With the kind of just move it around space. That's it. Just place it wherever you want, facing whatever direction you want. You want to like undock towards the sun and just have a really cool view. Praise the sun.
Or get your lines set up.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it used to be you couldn't outpost. They always pointed whatever direction that the game felt like it was supposed to be pointed. You never got to choose.
Right.
And so now you actually be able to pick the direction and all that stuff. And you even have multiple undock points and all that stuff.
Now I will just point out for the recording that I guess some people are asking like, oh, you could anchor it anywhere. Yeah, you can anchor it anywhere in space. Some people were like, even in the video they show it in a planet. Like you don't actually have to do it in orbit of a planet or a moon or whatever. But obviously for scenery purposes, you know, it's still nice to put it somewhere near a planet or some celestial because it's kind of just in the middle of space. You know, that could have strategic reasons of D-scan range or, you know, making people have to warp a long time to get to you or anchoring it close to a gate in case you want to have reinforcements faster. But you can pretty much do it anywhere, but there's still going to be like a minimum, so you can't just anchor like at a bounce point on the sun or anything like that.
I know that one of the first things I'm going to do is dump a medium outpost on the very butt crack of nowhere on the edge of a wormhole system and put bubbles on all the celestials, so anyone who warps to it's going to land in a bubble, get decloaked, and get blasted by the station. I've got dibs on that, like, first day.
Well, you're gonna have somebody manning the guns, remember?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll man them.
Anymore.
You're just going to man them nonstop, 24 hours a day, go fishing.
You know, we have enough
Oh,
people
yeah,
that can do it.
Well, I mean, you know, one that has a high sec static or something that has a ton of traffic. Oh, it's going to happen.
You know, it's interesting with corp infiltration, like how it's gonna work with the new citadels. I really hope, honestly, like they address the whole somebody singing guns thing, because you could just log on right after DT and then sit in the guns all day.
Yeah,
and they
so
won't shoot or anything.
there was a post.
that
Yeah, there was a post today saying that they're gonna. I mean, again, it's like, yeah, they're saying that they're gonna be setups or roles, and you know, you'll be able to kick people out of the guns. But obviously, if people are asleep at the wheel, you can still help them out.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
if the director's offline, I can't wait for someone to get, you know, for there to be some sort of a spy situation, someone to get shot by their own citadel. That's just going to tickle.
It's gonna
yeah,
be
no.
hilarious.
Absolutely.
Like,
It's gonna
oh,
happen.
you thought you were gonna tether. Well, here's the thing.
Or throw
Fun
remote
facts.
reps up on the enemy fleet.
Exactly.
We're just gonna blow you up.
Remote reps on enemies, doomsdays on friendlies, just firing smart bombs constantly for no goddamn reason.
Now imagine if a director decides to turn tides.
But when would a director turn on his corp? I mean, I can't think of any time that that's ever happened in EVE history.
Do we even want to go there, Chance? Or
No, we don't need to go there for now. We had some interaction with some people at EVE Vegas that may have had to do with some director turncoat helping Wingspan indirectly and during an operation, which will be which will be part of a story that's going to be in some videos later. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll
Well,
put a team
I
on
think
that.
everybody here knows exactly what you're talking about.
No, I know, but just for the purpose of people
we're
on the
pleading
stream.
the fifth. We're pleading
What-
the fifth for now. There will be something soon.
What did you guys think about Valkyrie?
Oh my god.
What about
I
Valkyrie?
can't get over it.
So how many times did I go through the line? 7 or 8?
Yeah, I went through
I
like 6
went
or
through
7
4 times.
times.
Oh, Valkyrie is amazing.
Yeah, I was very I mean, I wanted to believe in it, but I was definitely skeptical. But it felt so natural. Like once it was aligned correctly on your head, it's just like just 30 seconds in, you just like are not thinking about the fact that you're I don't know. I mean, you could still see the pixels and stuff, but you're not thinking about the motion of your head. Like it's just catching up fine.
Right.
Like a
I
typical
think it was,
like a
it was
typical
fun
Eve
because
pilot.
like
Oh, we're talking over each other.
Sorry.
Oh, clear comms, guys. Check,
Yeah,
check.
go no go ahead.
Okay. No, I mean, like the typical Eve pilot, the first thing I do is get in here and, hey, there's an enemy ship. Let's run into it at full speed, you know, like test the mechanics. Slam.
Right. And you bounce.
You bounce. It's pretty awesome.
I was
It's fun
hoping
running into the Titan and just getting fired.
Yeah, I was hoping that it was going to be PvP, like against other players, but they had a single-player mission there, which is fine. It's just, you know, I want to like try to beat other people and see like how good they are. But it's just it was really cool. And the only time I got motion sick at all was when I was just trying to do lots of barrel rolls at the same time as like looking around.
That was crazy. Like the first thing I did when I launched the thing was do a barrel roll, like and look up or whatever, and I got like straight vertigo the entire time.
Right.
I was like, shit, this is really real.
It
Yeah,
felt
but-
pretty good. It felt real good.
Yeah.
Like I felt G's on me at one point almost.
No,
and
you
just-
didn't. Come on.
It felt like it. Like my brain's trying to fill in the blanks. Like, okay, we're seeing this is happening. We should feel something, right?
Right.
Well, it's gonna be crazy whenever we start having like haptic feedback like situations.
Yeah, it's funny because they didn't have like rumble even on the controllers, but that's
Right.
something, especially with the Xbox One controllers, have like the 3 haptic feedback sources, so they can have like really interesting haptic feedback normally.
I think it would make it feel so much more real if, whenever the magnetic thrusters or whatever are coming online to launch you out, it's like you feel the steering wheel or whatever, the controller starts shaking from just the vibrations of the magnetic field or whatever.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
That would be so nice.
Yeah, I just remember you attacking the Titan, Chance, and be like, charge!
Charge!
And the whole turns around and looks at you.
Hey, you never
What
know.
is this
You
nut
don't know.
doing?
Maybe it's a 1%
Yeah,
hull, all right?
Easter egg. Just
Easter
blow up
egg.
the Titan.
Just fly directly into it. You could just fly directly into its like fighter bay or drone bay or whatever, and just like take it over from the inside. They actually programmed like an entire game inside a Titan.
Just secretly for you at the demo.
Exactly. Yep. I wouldn't put it past them. Well, let's see. What else was like kind of announced at E Vegas? Like, what else did you guys see that was like, okay, this is what's coming up, guys?
They kind of alluded. Did they allude to the new what is it? The new pirate faction frigates or the new E-War frigates? What was
Right.
it?
Well, they're
Yeah, they mentioned the
they're
13
like
new
fleet.
frigates.
They're like fleet frigates and stuff.
Yeah, the
so
Fleet E-War.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. What'd you guys think of that?
I'm excited for it. The ability to move yourself around field, which is what these new.
No, that's the new
like,
destroyers.
Sorry, new destroyers, but
I thought the destroyers just moved enemies around. Or
Well,
is
it was announced today officially that they move everyone.
everyone.
So they're gonna spool up, and then they're going to jump everyone in a very close proximity in the direction you're facing. And you can't use them in high sec, but it's gonna be absolutely hilarious. I want to know what's gonna stop people though from essentially like let's say you get 5 of these destroyers or whatever, and you get them all on top of each other. You use them to jump into an enemy group. Then 4 of them jump, together with the enemy group, and then 3 of them jump together with the enemy group. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh,
just
so you
bounce them like.
frog 'em
chain
for
them away.
distance.
I mean, I guess if
That'd be
they're
awesome.
not completely incompetent, they'll try moving away from you.
That's
And
going to require quite a bit of cooperation, communication, though.
and I guess
Which I
luck
wouldn't
that
put
you don't get
past these
blapped.
players.
I guess
Oh,
there's still going to be a spool up time, so if the other people aren't asleep at the wheel, some of them will get away.
Well, if you
You know
time it
what
right
was-
and it persists through a jump, then
Oh, that's interesting. If you can start spooling it while you're about to be jumped,
yeah, everybody gets in line and just times it right.
like it's like 5 fire, 4 fire, 3 fire, 2 fire, 1, like that kind of thing.
yeah.
That could be brutal.
Yeah, I mean,
CCP
you're
actually
going
said that they're
500
going
KM.
to carry locks through it, which I was pretty impressed by. Like
Yeah,
so
they
like,
said that with
yeah,
the,
2
Hand
people
of
could
God
be
type.
fighting each other and then get teleported, and you wouldn't even lose the lock, which I
Well,
find incredible.
That
they're able to
technically
pull off
still
with
works
gameplay.
with micro jump drives, right? If you have the scan distance, you stay locked.
Right.
Yep, that's true.
You know
It's
what I thought was
teleporting.
the biggest change that I saw about like the capital rebalance was the introduction of the when you doomsday someone, you drain the cap of everybody around you, which
Yes.
which totally like nullifies these big like Titan blobs, these big super blobs. Because if only 2 of them can go off and everybody's capped out, like what's the point of bringing more than 2? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
None of these
Well, you can
drive-by
bring more than
PDs
2, but
anymore.
you either
Well,
can't
yeah.
be right on top of each other, or you can't just fire them in like rapid succession.
Right.
You might see Titans get isolated a bit more often, and then these new mobility features, the destroyers and shit, you probably get a fleet in close to actually, tear into them.
Yeah.
Or-
One of the big themes, though, with it is just separating up blobs, which
Right.
I think we're all
Yeah.
really excited to see.
Right.
Is the blobs just get moved away from each other, so you don't have pile A that's all in just a big humping group versus pile B doing the same thing. They spread out with maybe some tactics on grid and some of this.
Right.
I'm
Well,
really
plus you got
excited for
the
that.
Hand of God Doomsday from the Titans, which some redditors want to rename the Hand of Bob, but but that was interesting. Like, okay, then just teleport this group of ships to a random location in the solar system.
I'm actually gonna head out.
Okay,
Just
thanks
having-
for joining us.
All right, Tally, see ya.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that the new Doomsday stuff's interesting, and they did want it to be more skill based, or not just like fire and forget. Essentially, like, okay, you got to aim, the other people have a chance to get out of it, or it has a spool up, or some kind of effect that, there's some like planning, like maybe you can try to lead your target or something like that.
And if you don't, then your blob will get cut right in half.
Yeah, there's that too.
Oh man,
Which deals with F1 monkeys pretty well, I feel like. I mean, you at least have to know how to click in space as well as push F1.
Right. Hey, and they're doing first-person mode on the ships, which looked pretty awesome with the other camera stuff. I mean, the detachable camera's cool and all, and the new follow camera is also cool. But the first-person camera, it doesn't have a lot of utility, but for like video creators or just for, I don't know.
Tactical bumps.
Yeah, maybe
Make
for
sure
tactical
you actually hit
bumps.
your target.
Exactly. Like, it could have uses, and at the very least, it's just really cool. And I was wondering if they're gonna like ultimately enable Oculus Rift just for normal Eve, just for looking, like not for any, strategic or gameplay reasons, but just to look around your ship would be awesome with VR.
yeah. I mean, Eve's a beautiful, beautiful game, and being able to see it from that perspective is amazing. But I do only give it about 3 hours before someone uses it for a not safe for work docking procedure between two ships.
Oh. Oh man.
Like,
Eve players.
we did that with Blops, didn't we, at one point?
Talk about
No,
things
that
that
was
happen
the
in the back
natural
rooms.
mating habits of a Blops, all right? What about Gunjack? What do you guys think about Gunjack?
I actually didn't try it, and I wish I had, but it'll come out eventually.
I did. It's interesting. I mean, it's basically this idea that you're on this little mining platform or whatever.
That can blow up
and-
battleships.
Yeah, and you got this little pew pew gun, and then like all of Eve is going to attack your station, and you're gonna blow them all away with your little laser.
It's what
It's
Care
really
Bears
cool that
dream
they're using
about.
the Eve IP, and it makes a lot of sense as a smartphone kind of scroller, I guess kind of thing. But as a serious game, I don't really.
I mean, it's a
none
smartphone
of
game.
that.
It's going to
just-
be like a $5 game,
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun little thing for the phone and whatever. It's not like Valkyrie, where Valkyrie is really a very
Valkyrie feels like
serious
a real
production.
game.
Right.
Well, I think actually that it's kind of what you're saying, that all of Eve attacks you. To me, that's what brought me the most out of Gunjack, because I thought if it was just more realistic in the sense of what's attacking you, then I would feel like, oh, this is a serious game. Like, okay, you're getting attacked by a single stealth bomber, and you blow up a purifier, fine. Or, some little fighters or drones attack you. But then all of a sudden it's like cruisers and battle cruisers and a battleship are landing on grid, and you're literally a single turret on like on a prospect, and you blow it up. It's just, I mean, yeah, it takes like 5 minutes to blow it up, but it's just a little ridiculous.
Yeah, it doesn't really fit with the Eve thing. One of the things I was thinking about is, what if like the Gunjack pilot or whatever upgraded through Eve ships or bigger ones? So like you'd have your first missions where you shot frigate-sized things, which makes a little more sense, and then like you became a cruiser and then you shot your little
That
pew
could
pew
be
gun.
part of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Scale
It's
it
part
as
of it,
you
I guess, but it's
progress.
just this weird like story thing of like you are the frigate and you're gonna blow all the battleships and Titans and Eve away. Like
It was
I don't
probably
know.
just a show floor level.
Show floor, oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
like a demo.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. And then,
What-
sorry, go ahead.
oh, whatever the gun that the Gunjack guy has got, I want it in real Eve because I will be winning at life.
Right, if you had just one of those, well, if it had to be like a man's turret, like someone else had to be online and on the gun in order to have that much power, it'd be pretty hilarious. Like, did you guys ever play like Battlefield Bad Company 2 or Battlefield like 3 and like fly the
Yes.
helicopters with a gunner?
Mm-hmm.
Like, as soon as you have that gunner, like your power level just like triples. Like, it's just
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
you just
and
erase
can split
everything.
You can split your attention really, really easily at that point.
yeah, oh my god.
It's like, I'll fly, you kill everything.
That's like one of those games. I mean, it's going like super off topic though. Like when you met someone who's really good at any vehicle in Battlefield, and you just see like the helicopters coming low over the horizon, you're like, oh shit! Like this person can actually fly. Like it's game over. All right, well, we don't have to talk about helicopters in Battlefield.
You've made a faux pas there, Chance.
Sorry.
You've
Sorry,
switched
guys.
IPs.
I switched IPs, genres, I switched everything all at once. What did you guys think about the Planet Hollywood Hotel?
Pretty great place. Pretty cozy.
It was pretty good. I mean, it's a little older hotel. I mean, they kept it pretty clean though. It is kind of strange that you can like go in and then just not see the sunlight for days and never leave.
Yeah.
You know, like I walked out like after the conference and I was like, I haven't seen the sun in like 5 days. What
Right,
is
that's
this
what the
thing?
sun looks like.
I know, like what the hell is this?
I thought it was weird, like that particular hotel has like 6 poker tables and that's it. Like in the entire place. Like I went to sit down, it was with Gigi. He was with me and we went to sit down and they made us like sit at this other table to wait, right? Okay, wait for an open table. And by the end of it we were waiting like 45 minutes and there were 6 people sitting at our table to wait. Like, we have a whole table here, just start the game. I don't understand, but
Yeah, it was a pretty good hotel, but the chateau, now that was pretty tight.
that was awesome.
Oh yeah.
I really expected that party to be kind of lame, but I guess when you have like 1,000 Eve players condensed into that small of a space, and the music is loud and the drinks are free.
Yeah,
they are.
well, that's more you paid for the drinks up front.
Yeah, well, there's that. It's it's
Yeah, it is really
free
nice
with an
about
asterisk. It's included in your ticket price.
What was the guy's name who does the party bus around with his bowhead and gives out stuff to newbies?
Mike Azariah.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
So
that
Mike
guy's pretty
Azariah is like the big, like high-sec newbie guy who helps out. Like he's always in the rookie help channel. He's always looking out for total noobs.
So should he be like the one exception that makes it on our blue list, Chance, or do we still put him on the black
Oh, I think Mike can handle himself against a couple bombers. You
list?
know
No
what's
mercy
funny?
even for the noobs.
When I was at the CSM panel, I didn't realize that it was UAX Death until he introduced himself. And I guess part of it's just because, because he joined like midterm, so I wasn't like looking up information about him ahead of time. Because obviously everyone else, I tried to spend some time to read their threads and look at their pictures and get a sense of who they were. But he didn't say anything during the entire CSM panel. Like I don't think he answered a question or anything.
Honestly, the whole CSM panel kind of got overburdened by, I don't know, leak weirdness
Yeah, I thought
rather
that
than
was
actually discussions on other topics.
Yeah, it really could have been a lot more, and I think that just the focus on leaks and, when we say leaks, like, it's not... I guess I'm not of the opinion that the leaks in the CSM have been ruining the CSM, or that there has been more than, like, one even significant leak that anyone even cares about. So I just felt like in order for it to take up, 50% of the discussion during the panel, it just felt a little ridiculous.
It's a thing. People don't like others being privileged in certain ways, like getting to know stuff early, or mostly it was like to unfairly use the information like that, but you're always going to have bad apples. You can't change it, and we as EVE players, we should know life is harsh and shit happens. You
Right.
can't
Well,
deal with it.
even when we joined the CSM, I mean, that kind of stuff came up, and Lilu said something at one point, which was just like, look, the reality is leaks will happen. It's just like something you just have to accept it the same way that, a department store has to accept the fact that people will steal stuff every now and then. You just kind of have to write it off as lost goods. But that doesn't mean that you can't have other people working and doing things the whole time. So
Yeah, it's not all bad though. EVE players love a little bit of drama, a little bit of intrigue. I mean, honestly, people may read up on more of the CSM stuff because of that rather than less. It's part of EVE and part of the reason we enjoy the game. And people breach the rules and do whatever. It's part of the fun.
Right. Yeah, I remember when, I told the Matani this too, but like, getting into EVE a lot was like reading about his story and all interpersonal intrigue. I remember reading that story about, I don't know if it's true or not, some Russian FC who had his internet connection cut because one of his enemies wanted him to lose a fleet fight. So just that stuff draws people in. It just seems like, wow, are people really taking this that seriously? It must be interesting at least.
Well, I mean, you had this will be for future land, but the Colombians fear the
The
Colombians.
Colombians.
Are
man.
coming.
Yeah, I was just waiting for someone to come up like, Mi amo Diego, and Tu es muerte.
Okay.
uh,
So for those who don't know, we've had some interesting interactions with a Colombian corporation that there'll be videos on later. So
yeah.
we were a little bit worried about we might run into
Assuming I
Colombians
live
for
to
real.
make them. I don't get like an envelope with some white powder on it. Oh man. Well, I think man, we're running quite a while now. I think we covered a lot of the stuff, the people, the places, the info, the drama, the Matani, I don't know, whatever. Pretty much everything. Did you guys have any other stuff that was just like, burning at your brains that stuck out at you, Vegas?
Chance dancing.
Me
Yeah,
dancing.
Spectacular.
That's pretty
I
good.
would like you all.
Involved
You
in
all have to
photos.
rate my dancing from 1 to 10 right now.
Hello Kitty.
Ooh, I'll give it a 5 unless there's someone else involved, and then maybe it gets a little better.
Yeah, maybe like 5 or 6 torpedoes out of 10.
Wow, guys, you hurt me. You injured
The drinks
me.
help you, Chance.
The drinks help. Yeah, like I needed more Wingspan people on the dance floor. Represent. No, maybe next time. Well, guys, it's been really fun. I'd like to thank you both for coming to Eve Vegas because that was awesome. Especially as a relatively new player and new CEO to meet so many of you, and obviously also for coming on tonight to talk about Eve Vegas.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for everyone that we met at Eve Vegas. It was wonderful to run into you guys and say hi and high five for reals.
Well, that pretty much covers it. I guess for all you kids at home, thanks for listening or watching or whatever the hell you're doing. Go back to normal videos next time, but hopefully you enjoyed this one. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you went to Eve Vegas, any thoughts you had or any stories in the comments or anything like that. And until next time, cheers.